Hello, everyone. Let me ask you something. Do you learn English every day, but still feel stuck? Do you understand many words, but cannot speak easily? Do you always translate from your language to English and feel slow? You are not alone. Many students feel the same. But what if the problem is not your vocabulary? What if the problem is how you think? Today's story is called Thinking in English. It is about a student who dreamed of studying abroad. But English was his biggest problem until one day he changed one simple thing. He stopped translating and started thinking in English. And that changed everything. Now, let's begin. His name was Alejandro. Alejandro was 19 years old. He lived in a small city with his parents. His life was simple, quiet, nothing special. But inside his heart, there was a dream, a very big dream. Alejandro wanted to study abroad. He wanted to leave his hometown, see the world, meet new people, build a better future. Every night, before sleeping, he watched videos online. Students walking on campus, speaking English confidently, laughing with friends. From different countries, everything looked so bright, so exciting. Alejandro smiled when he watched. That will be me one day, he said softly. But after a few seconds, his smile slowly disappeared because he knew the truth. That dream was very far away, and one big reason stood in front of him: English. Alejandro had studied English for many years. He knew grammar rules. He knew many words. He passed school exams. But real English was different. When he tried to speak, everything became slow, very slow. When someone asked him a simple question, his brain started working hard, too hard. First, he thought in his own language. Then he translated into English, word by word, step by step, carefully. But this took time, too much time. By the time he finished thinking, the conversation was gone. People already moved on. Alejandro stayed quiet. Again and again and again. Inside, he felt frustrated. I know this, he thought. I understand this. So why can't I speak? That question followed him every day. One day, Alejandro joined a speaking class. He wanted to improve. He wanted to change. At first, he felt excited. This is my chance, he thought. The teacher asked a question. What did you do yesterday? Other students answered quickly. Simple answers, clear voices, no fear. Alejandro listened quietly. His turn was coming. His heart started beating faster. Then, his name was called. Alejandro? He looked up slowly. His mind became empty. He knew the answer. He really knew it. But the words did not come. Yesterday. He stopped. Silence. The room felt heavy. Alejandro felt small, very small. He looked down. I'm sorry, he said softly. That moment hurt him deeply. That night, he sat alone in his room. No phone, no music, just silence. Maybe I am not good enough, he whispered. Maybe this dream is not for me. A few days later, Alejandro felt tired of everything. He did not want to study. He did not want to try. But he still opened YouTube, out of habit. A video appeared. While you can't speak English, Alejandro clicked. He watched quietly. The speaker said something simple. Stop translating. Alejandro paused. He frowned slightly. Stop translating? How? The speaker continued. When you translate, your brain becomes slow. You are thinking twice. But if you think in English, everything becomes easier. Alejandro stayed silent, his eyes focused on the screen, thinking in English. He had never tried that. Not seriously. What if... This is the problem. For the first time, he felt a small hope. That night, Alejandro did something different. He did not open his textbook. He did not study grammar. He just sat in his room. Quiet, calm. He looked around slowly. Then he spoke. This is a table. That is a chair. My phone is on the table. I feel tired. At first, it felt strange. Very strange. Almost uncomfortable. His brain wanted to translate, but he stopped it. He tried to think directly, word by word. Slowly, after a few minutes, something changed. Not big, but real. His thoughts felt lighter, faster. He was not fighting anymore. He was just thinking. Simple English, clear, easy. Alejandro smiled slightly. For the first time in a long time, he felt maybe, just maybe, he could improve. The next morning, Alejandro woke up early, not because he had to, but because he wanted to try again. He sat on his bed quietly. The room was still. His mind was also quiet. Then he started thinking in English. This is my room. The light is soft. I feel a little nervous. His sentences were simple, very simple, but something felt different. He was not translating anymore. He was not fighting with words. He was just thinking, slowly, naturally, freely. At first, his mind felt weak, like a muscle that had never been used before. But he did not stop. He practiced again, in the afternoon, and again at night. Short time, simple sentences, every day. And slowly, his brain started to change. Not fast, but clearly. Days passed, then weeks. Alejandro continued his small practice, thinking in English when he walked, thinking in English when he ate, thinking in English when he looked at people. What is he doing? She looks happy. The weather is nice today. Simple thoughts, simple words, but very powerful. Some days, he felt tired. Some days, he wanted to stop. This is too slow, he thought. I am not improving. But then he remembered his dream, studying abroad, a new life, a new future. So he told himself, just a little more, just one more day. And he continued, because now he understood something important. Big change comes from small steps. One day, something unexpected happened. Alejandro went to a cafe. He ordered a drink. Then he sat down quietly. A foreigner sat near him. After a few minutes, the man smiled and said, "Hi, how are you?" Alejandro felt nervous. His heart started beating fast. But this time, he did not translate. He did not stop. He answered directly, "I'm good. How about you?" The words came out naturally, simple, clear. The conversation continued, short, but real. For the first time in his life, Alejandro had a real conversation in English. When it ended, he sat still for a moment. He could not believe it. "I did it," he whispered. A small moment, but a big victory. After that day, everything started to change. Not outside, but inside him. Alejandro felt more confident, not because he was perfect, but because he saw progress, real progress. He started speaking more, even if his sentences were not perfect, even if he made mistakes. He did not stop, because now he understood something. Mistakes are part of learning. not something to fear. Every time he spoke, he improved a little. Every time he tried, he became stronger. His voice became clearer. His mind became faster. And his fear became smaller. Months passed. Alejandro looked back at his old self, the boy who stayed silent, the boy who was afraid to speak, the boy who always translated and always felt slow. And now he was different, not perfect, but confident, not fluent, but natural. He could think in English, speak in English, live in English, and the most important thing, he believed in himself. One night, he stood in front of a mirror and said softly, "I can do this. I will study abroad. I will change my life." His voice was calm, but strong, because now his dream was not just a dream anymore. It was a path, a real path. And step by step, he was already walking on it. After many months of practice, Alejandro felt different. He was not the same person anymore. He was not perfect, but he was stronger, calmer, more confident. One night, he sat at his desk quietly. In front of him was an application form. Study abroad. This was his dream, but also his biggest fear. His hands felt cold. His heart beat faster. What if I fail? He thought. What if my English is not good enough? The old fear came back, slowly, quietly, but this time, Alejandro did not run away. He closed his eyes for a moment. He took a deep breath. Then he said softly, "I have changed. I am better now. I will try." And slowly, he started writing. Weeks later, Alejandro received an email. Interview invitation. He looked at the screen for a long time. This was it, the real test, the moment he had waited for, but also the moment he feared the most. The night before the interview, he could not sleep well. His mind was full of thoughts. What if I forget words? What if I make mistakes? What if I fail? But then he remembered something. All those small days, thinking in English, practicing quietly, trying again and again. He placed his hand on his chest and whispered, "I am ready." The interview day arrived. Alejandro sat in front of the screen. The interviewer smiled. "Hello, Alejandro." His heart started beating fast, but this time, he did not panic. He did not translate. He just listened and answered. Simple English, clear thoughts, real words. Sometimes he made small mistakes, but he did not stop. He continued, calm, focused, natural. The conversation flowed. Not perfect, but real. At the end, the interviewer smiled and said, "Thank you, Alejandro." After the call ended, he sat there quietly. Then he smiled because he knew something. No matter the result, he had already won. Days passed slowly. Alejandro checked his email every morning, waiting, hoping, feeling nervous. Then one day, the email arrived. He opened it carefully. His eyes moved slowly across the screen. Then he stopped. For a few seconds, he did not move. Then he smiled. A real smile. Deep, warm. He was accepted. Alejandro closed his eyes and took a deep breath. All the small steps, all the quiet practice, all the moments. He almost gave up. They brought him here. A few months later, Alejandro stood at the airport, a small bag in his hand, a big dream in his heart. He looked at the sky and smiled softly, because now his dream was real. Not perfect, not easy, but real. He remembered the past, the fear, the silence, the slow thinking, and he understood something very important. Success did not come from one big moment. It came from small steps, thinking in English every day, trying again every day, not giving up every day. Alejandro took a deep breath and walked forward, step by step. And maybe your story can be the same. You don't need perfect English. You don't need big talent. You just need to start. Think a little, speak a little, improve a little every day. Because one day you will look back and realize something amazing. You are not the same person anymore. And that is the real success. So, this is Alejandro's story. A student who felt stuck, but did not give up. He did not change his life. In one day, he changed it, step by step, by thinking in English, by practicing every day, by believing in himself. So now, let me ask you, will you continue to translate forever? Or will you start thinking in English today? Start small. Start simple. Start now. Thank you for listening. Keep learning. Keep growing. And I will see you in the next story.